Hey guys, I am back. What did I just destroy? Oh geez, I'm breaking things already. Alright, so I'm back. I'm back on the Minecraft server. And I've got a couple of things I need to build. Is that gone forever? Alright, so if we go back to where we left off, we have a room to finish. There we go. Before we get there, I got a couple items on me I gotta get rid of. Let's see. I always forget the recipe for this. I think it's cobblestone and not this. Let me check. Need a few brewing stands. Yes, awesome. Let's just make 5. Alright, so where do these go? So what I want to do is we have several rooms already done down here. If we come into this room, then this is the storage room, all done there. This is the enchanted room. I've been using that puppy. There's a lot of stuff stored there. Whole lot of chests that got various different things. These are my very valuable Fortune 3 books. And then you come in here, and this is what we got right now. Originally, this was going to be, I think it was going to be an armory, is what I was going to have in here. But then I realized I have all of these anvils in here. What is the point of having some place that I can make sure that my armor is still doing well? So I'm literally going to just use that as part of my fixing up my armor. As you can see, my beautiful armor is here. So I'm not going to actually make an armory in here, but I really do need a smelter room, because I'm constantly just trying to get all my stuff smelted, whether it's getting green dye or just taking care of all the iron blocks that I randomly obtain through this process. So I definitely want to get that done. So let's get some of this in. I don't expect it to be big, so I'm not going to go crazy with this thing, but I just want it to be an automated place where I can get that going if I ever need to smelt stuff. Like, one possibility is I have my nether rack that just is constantly running in the constantly running in the nether, and so maybe I want to get something in here set up to be able to run like that, which means I think I'm gonna have to move this roof up, but that's okay. So let's get this finished. I love designing with these iron blocks. I just love the look of this. I know some of you guys probably hate this look. That's okay. I can live with you guys hating it. Alright, so we come in here, and another big reason I'm trying to get this done is because, look at this. I had a full 2 rows of iron blocks. I need to get rid of these iron, so we will. Alright, so I need that. I think this makes 4 furnaces. Probably should be enough for now. If I need to scale it out, I can scale it out, but I think 4 furnaces will do for now. I say that like it's no big deal, but it is kind of a big deal. Bunch of those. And then chests and trap chests. I'm probably going to need more of those, but for now let's just do what we got. Oh yeah. And then I hate leaving gaps. I know nobody sees them, but I see them, so we're going to fill that area in. So, Church Mag server is available if you guys want to join on. We've still been having people jump on if you want to get on, you can definitely. If you go to churchmag/Minecraft, you can get a lot of the details there. So we'd love to hear from you guys. The interest is always there. The question is always just, how much do I promote it? And I hate being a self-promoter all the time, so I kind of balance between that world of how much do I talk about, how much do I just kind of let it be, and if you can discover it, you can discover it. This is a community thing, so I really want you guys to be able to jump on if you want to jump on with this. So I highly encourage you guys, please join in if you have any desire to do any kind of Minecraft. I think it'd be really cool. Alright, so smelting, the way I want it to work is we're going to have the actual smelters here. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll have the smelters here. And then let's go over here as well. I haven't actually planned this out, so you guys get to see me do it live. So we got those. Move that out. I'm trying to go for a weird design that I'll actually use and like. Yeah, we're gonna have to raise this one, so let me get rid of some of this stuff over here so I can actually make it functional. I've been trying to think, how far should I take this iron section 2, this design? Because as soon as these rooms get done that I'm putting in right now, I'm not going to be using a lot of this iron. And so I'm kind of trying to figure out what am I going to be doing with the rest of this iron. So if you guys have any ideas of how I can incorporate iron into the rest of my design, I'd love it. Because I have a lot of blocks. But that being said, I might not be AFKing all the time to have to use them. But if you guys have design ideas, I'm really looking forward to trying to use iron blocks as much as possible. I'm a big fan of them, as you can see. So however I can best utilize them, though, obviously the downside for it is you can't do slabs, you can't do steps, so it's kind of frustrating with it, but at the same time it still works. So something like this, even now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna have to go one more high, just because we can't do a half slab. If we could do a half slab right here with the iron, it would be excellent, but unfortunately that's not the case. Alright, so we got, obviously that goes there and that goes there. We need 2 chests and then trap chests. So we got those going in there and then into here. I think I can do that, yeah. Yep. Probably gonna just, might as well go all out with this. Why not? So I'm gonna replicate this over here as well. But then I want it to go into my chest. And I'm trying to think, should I have them stick out 2 or stick to the side 2? It's not like I'm gonna need to get too close to these, right? If I'm here, I can easily access that. Yeah. Alright, so let's do it this way. Ooh, maybe we will. There we go. So we got that one, which that's just a normal chest. So we'll do this. Back it up. There we go. Oh. Of course. Alright, so we got this going. Like I said, this is really going to just kind of rule the smelting area. Not that I'm doing a ton of stuff all the time, but at the very least, if I need to have something run crazy fast, I can kind of just throw it in there, let it run for a hot minute and come back. I don't expect a ton of time to be spent in this room, but that's okay. I also know that I'm trying to transition my entire process over to my base, because right now really the only thing I do elsewhere is, I think it's the zombie spawner. I'd love to get my levels there, but even then I'm finding myself not needing to do that as much, and trying to get the iron, which after all these rooms are done I'm not going to need to do anymore, so that'll be taken care of as well. So most of my time is going to be spent in this base, which will be good. So I need to kind of maximize everything that gets done in here, which means this room needs to be done so that whenever I put something in there, it's going to run well. Alright. Nope. Not what I wanted. Alright. Beautiful, beautiful. One of the things I want to talk to you guys while I did this, let me kind of chat while I do all this stuff. We're going to do a whole nother room, so I won't be taking up a ton of time with this room. But I do want to say, there's this conversation going on right now about how much does the digital world impact our real world. It's been a conversation that churches have tried to, I don't know if it's debate or just really kind of argue, because I can't see how there is a debate on this conversation. Like, obviously I say it so flippantly, and it is so flippant for me, but this idea that the digital world does not impact our lives is just, for me, being a millennial, completely absurd. And so I hear churches all the time say, we're going to make it a technology free world. I'm like, why? Why limit yourself in that capacity? Why in the world would you say we are not going to engage in a conversation with people that may want to know about Jesus? So, this idea that you can have an entire worship center that it has nothing to do with technology, at the core of it, I understand the draw to something like that, but I just can't understand the appeal for wanting to not be able to reach the entire world for what's going on. So let me kind of take a step back. My thoughts on technology influencing the real world. The Ashley Madison thing just happened this last week at the time of this recording, so I think it'll be a couple weeks out. And I don't have an Ashley Madison account, but my wife, with the craziness of going on, Josh Duggar having his own account and all the hoopla that goes with that, had to ask, do you have an account? And I easily can say no, definitely not. But it's just crazy to me how much that impacts our lives, and in a way that I never would have dreamed would have happened. So then you talk about social media. Can you evangelize on social media? Is it possible to disciple completely digitally? And I don't think that the tools are at that point yet, but I do think that it is absolutely possible. And I fear that until a church makes it relevant or cool or simple to implement, that many churches are going to either shame and guilt and say it's a terrible idea, or they're just going to wait. And for me, that's just as scary, of waiting and not actually pulling the trigger on anything until it becomes easy. Now, I get the conversation that other people love to have on this topic. It's so competitive in the digital world. Agreed. If you are comparing yourself to Saddleback, to North Point, then yes, you are not going to win, and it's going to be really difficult for you to be successful. But I personally don't gauge success in that way. Hold on. What am I missing? So once... Oh, I get it. Okay. Sorry, I was like, why is this not working out? That's why. So I think that when you try to gauge success in that realm of, we can't compete with the big dogs, I guess, in this process, then you aren't going to win. You don't have their time, you don't have their money, their capital that they can put behind it. But I also think that you do have a complete niche in that process where they are hitting a lot of different people. I think that they do it well, and that's why they're so successful. But I don't think that they have a lockdown on that process. And this is coming from me knowing the online pastor, Jay, and the social media manager, Haley, and recognizing that they're doing amazing stuff there. And yet you can still be able to have your own ministry in that process and do something amazing. Now, on the other end is the people that would say, we want to just completely escape technology, and we want to be able just to live in the moments, understand who God is. And I get that. I really do. There are days that you put down the technology and you kind of just live life offline. And sometimes you need to do that. Me and my wife are doing the premarital counseling for our church. And it amazes me how many people let technology dominate. Man, I cannot reach that. Let technology dominate in their marriage. And this is coming from someone that fails at that process a lot themselves. So I can understand how it can happen, but I think it's a sad excuse for you to completely stop using technology and make it a feature of your church. It's just like someone saying, because we have a live stream, that's the reason you should come to our church. And that's a terrible reason. You should be coming because the gospel is being preached and it's amazing, and everything that goes on at that church is glorifying the kingdom. That's why you should be visiting the church. That's why you should be in attendance. You are growing in your faith and stuff like that. So I'm ranting right now. Let me get the ceiling up. Yeah, we're good. Let me get the ceiling up and I'll be back. We'll continue the discussion here in a minute, but let me get this going. Be back in a minute. All right, guys, we have the final design in here done. And if you look, it's very simple. If whatever you're going to smelt goes up here and goes down into the actual furnace, the actual fuel, whatever it is, a lot of times I'm probably going to mix this up, and it's probably going to be dependent not on what is up here that's going to get smelted, but on the actual fuel source, because I know that cactus can get burned so quickly, and so something like coal would be perfect for it, whereas nether brick can take a long time, and I have so much of it that I just use lava sources at that point. So I use buckets of lava. So this might actually be buckets of lava. That might be blaze rods. So I need to get a bunch of blaze rods. That might be coal. And I don't know what this one would be. Maybe this one's just another bucket of lava or something like that. But it's going to be more dependent not on what goes in there and comes out, but on actually what the fuel source is. Because I know for me, a lot of times I burn through a lot of coal or a lot of blaze rods when I really don't need to be. And so I think that that's going to be a key feature, something for this area. It's small, but it's compact, and I think that this is just going to serve well what we need in here. Now this room's done, and if we come over here, I've already started on this room. It's going to be a big one. And if you actually look right here, this is what my brewing stand, this is actually going to be a whole room of brewing stands. And you're going to be able to come in here. This is not my design, so there's no reason to show it off. I'll have the link down below of the actual design for something like this. But it's very simple. You click the button, you got the bottles of water in there. When you click the button, it automatically dispenses all the different things for you in order. And so the brewing stand will have it. It'll brew what it needs to, and then you can just come down here and gather what you need to. I do need to pretty this up a little bit, but I'm keeping with the iron theme, so I don't anticipate it being much. They require the wooden button because it powers longer than any other buttons, so I have to keep this, but that's okay. I don't think it looks absolutely terrible on this design. I'm just wondering what I'm going to do as far as the non-iron blocks. I'm not sure. I'll get it figured out. So that's going to be the design of this room. I was going to keep going, but this has actually taken much longer than I anticipated. I was hoping to actually have the whole place done by now, and I do not, as you can tell, unfortunately. So I'm actually going to end it here. I'll do the rest of this room off camera when I have time. It's always hard to find time to be able to record when the house is entirely quiet. So that's why I'm at right now. This might be a shorter episode. That's because I did a lot of stuff off camera, trying to make sure I got everything done. Other than that, I do want to hear you guys' input on my discussion about life in the digital as opposed to the life with, I guess, in real life, but for me, digital is still in real life, so it's hard for me to have this argument, as you guys can kind of tell right now. So what do you guys think? Is in life, meaning not digital, something that's completely different from what is completely digital? Is it possible to evangelize, disciple online? What are your concerns about something like that? And if they're general concerns, I've heard a lot of the general concerns. I'm more thinking like, let's really get into this. Have you tried it yourself? If you haven't tried it yourself and you're just hypothesizing right now, that's fine. But know that there's been a lot of discussion going on in this. So your initial reactions may have already been kind of nailed down. So maybe do a little bit of research before you leave a comment or two. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. This is much more of a thinker episode, I know. That's okay. But I wanted to kind of get that off my chest. especially with the Ashley Madison one. It really just impacts us, which, to be honest, everything impacts us every single day. The Target hack, the banks, whenever you get your own individual information stolen, your identity stolen. But the consequences with the Ashley Madison one have been much different. People can kind of shrug and say, oh, well, my bank's going to replace the amount of money that was lost to me. But what do you do whenever someone reveals a bunch of personal information? Like, what happens if you were Josh Duggar in that situation? And now you're really in trouble with that process. Obviously, it's a place for growth. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because it gives him the ability to kind of make new if that's what he wants to do. But it doesn't fix the situation. I think that's important too. Because what's happening in his heart offline is totally impacting what he does online, as well as the reverse. What he's doing online affects his actual life, if you want to call it that. But for me, I'm a digital native. And so some of my closest friends are online. And I think that's tough for a lot of people to recognize. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Leave your guys' comments down below. Tell me any changes you would make to this design as well. But really, I kind of want to hear what you guys' thoughts are on online versus offline. Is there a difference? Can the two be completely separate? Or is it just a matter of when is it going to impact your online life as opposed to if? Obviously, you've heard my stance on the point. So leave your guys' comments down below, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye. Let's see. There we go. See you guys. Bye.